Hey there, I'm April and you're watching the Android Authority channel. In this episode, we're going to compare Samsung's much celebrated quad-core superphone, the Samsung Galaxy S3 GT-I9300, and Sony's new water and dust-resistant phone, the LTE-capable Sony Xperia V LT25i. Which phone surpasses the other? How, or in what way? Sit through this quick review and find out. With just one glance at both phones, I could instantly see different aesthetic philosophies at work. Both phones try to keep the exterior as simple and as minimal as possible without sacrificing uniqueness. To me, the Galaxy S3's overall look appears to be that of a flat, rectangular, and smoothened pebble. It looks like a rectangular tile with edges and corners rounded and smoothened a bit. I find this look somewhat relaxing and zen-like. The Xperia V, on the other hand, combines smooth, curves, and angles. It doesn't skimp on class, but doesn't scream too loud of glamour either. I find this design formal, businesslike, and active. The Samsung phone is bigger. I find its width and height not as comfortable as that on the Xperia V. Yet, I can easily grip either phone with one hand. Both are nearly the same thickness too. And although the Galaxy S3 is in fact heavier, the weight difference may not be a big deal to many users. The first time I took a really long and hard look at the Xperia V's front, I had an aha moment. It looks curiously similar to the front of the Galaxy S3's predecessor, the Galaxy S2, but without the home button. It's an all-black affair with only the Sony wordmark accenting the surface. The Galaxy S3's front, in contrast, is a mix of shades. Black screen, dark gray bezel with brushed metal design, and metallic accents provided by the speaker grille, Samsung logo, and the edging on the elongated home button. The presence of this physical home button on the S3 and its absence on the Xperia V is one of the chief differences between the two phones. There are also capacitive menu and back buttons on each side of this home button. Again, the Xperia V doesn't have these types of buttons. Instead, it has dynamic virtual navigation buttons. Let's now take a look at the sides. On the Xperia V, notice how the front panel seems to rise from a chrome-plated frame, which makes up its sides. This frame seems to be made of plastic. The silver coating could eventually wear away and expose the plastic underneath. The volume keys and power button are within easy reach by either one thumb or one index finger. They're here on just one side. This hole down here is for hanging phone accessories. On the opposite side is the micro USB port. It's covered by a protective flap with a rubber seal to prevent liquid penetration. Beside it are dock pogo pins. At the top is the headphone jack, again protected by a flap and rubber seal. The bottom edge has nothing but the phone mic. On the Galaxy S3, you'll find a bluish-gray plastic frame surrounding the front. Still bearing the brushed metal design, the frame is thicker at the left and right sides, and thinner at the top and bottom. It's a smooth and simple design. Ports and buttons are equally distributed, and the control buttons are within easy reach by the fingers. You'll need two fingers to be able to use the control buttons, usually the thumb and the index. The power key is here at the right, and the volume key is at the opposite side. Headphone jack is at the top, and micro USB port at the bottom. Just as the fronts and sides of these two phones look lovely, the backs of these phones are lovelier. On the Galaxy S3, you get a dark bluish-gray polycarbonate backplate with the same brushed metal design as the phone's sides and bezels. This is a removable back cover, which I like so much. It's very thin and light, but it seems sturdy. Beside the micro SIM slot, there's a slot for a micro SD card for up to 64 GB. The default battery on the S3 is a 2100 mAh lithium-ion pack with reported talk time of about 22 hours on 2G or 12 hours on 3G. The Xperia V has a plastic back cover that curves downwards towards the center. The matte white back contrasts nicely with the black front and the metallic frame. This is also a removable back plate, thin and light but feels sturdy. There's a rubber seal here meant to prevent dust and liquids from seeping into the battery compartment. This one's a water sensor, which detects if you've overexposed your phone to any form of liquid. The battery itself is removable. In fact, you'll need to remove it to be able to access the microSD card slot and the micro SIM tray underneath it, which you'll have to pull out with your fingernail like this. This is a 1700 mAh lithium-ion pack with reported talk time of about 7 hours. The two phones use different display technologies, HD Super AMOLED on the Galaxy S3 and TFT LCD on the Xperia V. Both are quite capable of displaying all my delicious high-definition photos and videos in all their crisp, vibrant, and colorful glory. The Galaxy S3 has a bigger screen at 4.8 inches, while the Xperia V is at 4.3 inches. Yet, both screens display at the same 1280 by 720 pixel resolution, which gives the Xperia V the upper hand with its pixel density of 342 ppi, resulting in sharper and crisper images. Both screens are protected by tough cover, Corning Gorilla Glass 2 on the S3 and scratch-resistant glass on the V. Between the two, though, I find the Galaxy S3's display sharper, more brilliant, and richer in color. It is more saturated and more vibrant, with whiter whites and blacker blacks, resulting in sharper contrasts. But personally, I prefer the Xperia V's less saturated and more realistic colors. The Galaxy S3 is well known among its quad-core peers. It is looked up to with deep respect because of its hardware superpowers, and truly it lives up to the praise that it has been reaping. Performance and speed on the Galaxy S3 are smooth and nearly seamless. Placed beside a quad-core monster, the dual-core Xperia V may seem like a wimp. It's a misperception that's easy to form. In fact, I found the Xperia V quite smooth and fluid, although it's not perfectly seamless as I noticed some jitter and lag while web browsing, launching apps, and playing HD games. Those were noticeable, but not a huge disruption for me at all. The Galaxy S3, though, offers more options for internal storage. While the Xperia V has only an 8GB model, the Galaxy S3 has 16, 32, and 64GB models. Both phones allow microSD storage expansion too, but the Xperia V only allows up to 32GB, while the S3 allows up to 64. Both phones come with Android 4.0.4 Ice Cream Sandwich out of the box. The Galaxy S3, however, received its Android 4.1.2 Jelly Bean update months ago. Thanks to Project Butter, navigating the Galaxy S3's TouchWiz Nature UX is buttery smooth. Aside from the inherent smoothness that comes with Jelly Bean, handy features like Smart Stay, Smart Rotation, and Pop-Up Play are a welcome addition to the TouchWiz bundle. Meanwhile, Sony just started rolling out its Jelly Bean update for the Xperia V a few days ago. We have not yet received our share of Jelly Bean yet, but we did get an Ice Cream Sandwich update recently. One thing I hated about the update was that I needed to connect the phone to a Windows or Mac computer just to be able to apply the software updates. With the Galaxy S3, it all happens over the air and without need for a PC. But even with just Ice Cream Sandwich, the Timescape UI on the Xperia V rarely jitters or freezes. One thing I like about Sony smartphones is the emphasis on keeping your phone experience true to life. The Xperia V comes packed with features such as the Mobile Bravia Engine 2, xCloud, and Clear Audio Plus, giving you that extra multimedia punch only real life can. The Galaxy S3 and the Xperia V both have similar connectivity features. Both can share files using Bluetooth, NFC, and DLNA. You can even sync the phone screen to an HD TV. Both can connect to Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi Direct, 2G, and 3G networks. But the Xperia V has one connectivity feature that makes the S3 envious, 4G LTE. Although there's a Galaxy S3 variant with LTE functionality, the GT-I9300. Both also use a micro SIM card for mobile network connectivity and a standard micro USB port for charging and file transfers. A charging dock is also available for the Xperia V if you don't feel like using the USB cable. 1080p Full HD videos play smoothly on both phones' stock video players. I didn't experience any lag at all. It's like watching a movie in a cinema with a smaller screen. The Galaxy S3's Pop-Up Play feature, however, gives me more flexibility when watching a movie. I don't have to switch to another app to view my mail or messages. The Sony phone lacks this or a similar function. Music sounds awesome on the Xperia V, especially with extra audio controls and enhancements such as Clear Audio Plus, Surround Sound, Clear Stereo, Clear Phase, and xCloud. Music on the Xperia V sounds even better when listened to with headphones. Yet the Galaxy S3 tends to produce clearer audio through its loudspeakers, even at maximum volume. The Xperia V's loudspeakers create distortion at max volume. Some may be impressed by the Xperia V's 13-megapixel back camera with an Exmor-R sensor. But to Samsung's credit, the Galaxy S3's 8-megapixel camera with its CMOS sensor still captures great photos. In fact, in bright settings, the Galaxy S3's camera churns out less noisier photos than the Xperia V. The two phones have stock camera apps that make photo and video capture simple and easy. Both have essential camera features such as white balance, photo effects, and image stabilization. I find it very curious that the Xperia V has no dedicated physical shutter button. The Xperia T and TX each have one. Regardless, you can set the phone to capture shots either with the on-screen button or by touching the viewfinder. The Galaxy S3 doesn't have a physical camera shutter either. Both phones can record videos in 1080p Full HD resolution, but I observed that the autofocus for videos on the Xperia V tends to be a little bit slower, causing blur when fast-moving from one subject to another. I didn't observe such extensive blurring in the Galaxy S3. It doesn't need to be said again. The Samsung Galaxy S3 GT-I9300 is definitely a great Android smartphone packed with smart and convenient features. Its processing power isn't something that you can easily overlook. However, the Xperia V doesn't necessarily pale in comparison to it. The Sony Xperia V LT25i has several features that make the phone one of its kind. One is its ingress protection rating of 55 and 57, which means protection against dust, against low-pressure jets of water from all directions, and against water penetration when submerged under 1 meter of fresh water for up to half an hour. Another special thing about the Xperia V is that it is LTE capable, supporting LTE bands 1, 3, 5, 7, and 10. Sony and Samsung have been making great phones for the past few years, and both the Samsung Galaxy S3 and the Sony Xperia V are testament to their innovation in the smartphone arena. Although I lean towards the sturdy build and beautiful audio of the Sony Xperia V, I can't deny the call of quad-core processing and Jelly Bean on the Galaxy S3. What about you? Which phone is right for you? Share your thoughts in the comments. For more Android news and reviews, visit AndroidAuthority.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm April. Thanks again for watching. And remember, the power of Android is yours.